Welcoming everyone to another live edition of 410 Sports Talk. I'm Glenn Martin here with my co-host James Haskell, and of course DK in the background running the show. Thanks for joining us, Adam. What's going on? Killer One, what's going on? Appreciate you joining us as more people continue to trickle in. We got some news coming out of the nest, of course, as the Ravens prepare for their final preseason game and ultimately prepare for week 1 of the regular season. There was a couple press conferences today, which is where we're going to get a lot of our information from, and so I guess that's where we'll start, right, Jimbo? Just get right into those pressers.
Yeah, I mean, I think let's do it. Let's not hold back at all. And if it's all right with you, I think I kind of want to start with the most intriguing, at least in my opinion. That's safety Chuck Clark.
Yeah, let's get into it. So, of course, this is the first time I believe we'd had the opportunity to hear from Chuck since Kyle Hamilton was drafted. And the news broke that Chuck Clark wasn't thrilled that the Ravens decided to go with the safety as their first overall pick and thought that, maybe he had something going on here. And after Marcus Williams was signed, that him and Marcus would be side by side, drafted in the same class. Or I guess Chuck wasn't drafted, but they came out in the same class, him and Marcus, and thought they'd be kind of reunited in the backfield, but was worried when saw Kyle Hamilton drafted. So Chuck admitted today, Jimbo, that yes, he was considering getting out of Baltimore when he saw Kyle Hamilton was drafted, was not sure what the Ravens had in store for him, but basically said when the Ravens decided, no, you're not going anywhere, he flipped his focus on, all right, well, now you got to take this job from me, rookie. Kyle Hamilton, you're going to come snatch this job from me because I'm not giving it away. And I love that reaction, right? Like, I was happy because iron sharpens iron. And as Chuck Clark continues to improve and get better, he's just going to bring up the level of Kyle Hamilton with him. So I was happy to hear. But what were your thoughts when you heard the comments?
Yeah, so I just want to go back to, it's funny, I feel like I've been doing this recently. I've been tooting our own horns. But at the end of the day, if you're not going to do it, sometimes, no one's going to do it for you. Yeah. So I think we talked about this. A lot of people were like, oh, well, Hamilton kind of plugs right in next to Marcus Williams. And there's a lot of people expecting Chuck to, like, they wanted to move the linebacker. They wanted him to take a rotational role, like whatever. But I think we after we had time to digest the draft, you and I kind of talked about how what we believe at the end of the day is that Chuck, this is still Chuck's job. He's still going to get the majority of the snaps. And I think of the three, Hamilton will get the minority of the snaps in the moments where all three of them aren't out there. I think in a lot of moments, all three of them will be. But I love this attitude. And I think that this is what makes Chuck great, because when you're in situations like this, where things don't turn out the way you expected, there's really only two ways you can react. You can say, I'm taking my ball and I'm leaving.
Feel sorry for yourself.
Yeah. Like Kevin Durant. Or, I mean, that's a perfect example. Like, I don't know really what's going on. I don't follow Kevin
Apparently
Durant.
He's staying now.
Yeah, right. He's staying now because he has no other options.
We'll come back next week. It'll be something.
Yeah, exactly. Or you can say, you know what? I can only control what I can control, and I'm going to fight harder. I'm going to do more. I'm going to play better, and I'm going to represent myself.
Yeah.
Right. And like you said, if you want it, come get it. And so he's still got to prove it. Nothing is going to be handed to Hamilton. And I think we've learned very quickly that he's got a long way to go. I'm not saying he won't be great, but he's got a long way to go because he's still a rookie at the end of the day before he has a chance to really take Chuck's job here.
Absolutely.
Like, take Chuck's job. Like, there won't be scenarios where all three of them are out there.
Yeah, well, I think ultimately he will take Chuck's job, just not this year, because I don't see the Ravens now paying Chuck
right
long term. So eventually he will take his job, but
not now.
Not now. And I think that when Chuck, does move on from Baltimore, he'll have plenty of suitors, including, I'm sure the Giants will be one of the first to make Martindale as their DC. So, it made it clear that Chuck made it clear he did for a moment want to leave, but now he says, I'm just going to stick around. And as we see on the screen here, you can see it right there on why he participated in voluntary practices, because he was at everything, stuff that you don't normally see a veteran of his stature at. But he said, I quote, yeah, I did ask, can I get out of here? That didn't happen. I wasn't going to give away my spot. Even if I'm not going to be a starter, it's going to have to be taken from me. Absolutely love that reaction. And yeah, I think the Ravens are better for having all three of those guys in the building. So yeah, looking forward to how they play together. That's going to be the true test. Once we see them all three on the field together, what that looks like, how they're being deployed, and if all those three can kind of coexist.
Yeah, 100%. It's going to be exciting to see because what we get is the best of two scenarios. Chuck playing at his absolute best, right? In an extremely motivated state, because at the end of the day, Chuck's playing for his next deal.
Yep.
You know, he didn't come in as a first round pick. He didn't come in as a, as a highly touted guy. He's come in and worked up his way through the ranks.
Yep.
And so Chuck certainly got the dog in him, and he'll be bringing it every game. And then we get a guy in Hamilton who potentially is, certainly in a lot of people's opinions, mine included, he has a higher ceiling than Chuck Clark, but he's got to get there. You know what I mean? So this is pulling him and pushing Chuck at the same time. So I'm all for it. I'm excited about it. And I didn't expect Chuck to respond any other way than that. I don't think he's a whiner. He's just not.
No. I love his response. So yeah, let's just hope it works out, best for both of them. And that they both play well. But all right, let's move on. So I got to address, we got to talk about what's been popping up a lot in the chat here. Yeah, but me and Jimbo were just talking before before we went live here that Matt Araiza, the accusations, at least what I saw, most people know him as the punt god. Matt Araiza, he's currently on the Buffalo Bills, but I think where did he come out of? Arizona State or something?
No, I think San Diego State. Yeah.
Okay. The punter that famously had that massive kick average and had a 80-some yard punt in his first preseason game was kind of stealing the headlines, making some wonder why Jordan Stout was the first punter taken by the Ravens and not Matt Araiza. And of course, when we had on our draft expert, he made it very clear that while, some guys can kick it really far, that's fine. But you got to have some accuracy and you got to have some tools in the bag. You can't just have the one tool be kick it really far. But news is apparently coming out that him and a few of his teammates are being accused of some horrible things. It's being described as a gang rape of a 17-year-old girl. And apparently what I'm seeing is there may even be video evidence of this, which is just about as horrifying as you can imagine. So, man, if some of these accusations and stuff are true, then I'm sure glad the Ravens took Jordan Stout. But geez.
Yeah, two things come to mind. One, I think I wouldn't be surprised if the Ravens knew things that and not just the Ravens. If
man, I hope the Bills didn't know this.
Well, right. I certainly hope the Bills didn't know this, but also, you wonder if other teams already knew this, it just wasn't made public yet, but through their investigative powers, they, were able to figure some of this information out and said, no, we're completely red listing this guy, and not going to be going with him, but, man, it's just, at what point do you hit a limit? It's just disgusting and frustrating and dude, it's exhausting.
It's crazy, dude.
It's always, I won't get on a soapbox here, but it's always disappointing to me to see guys that can make an impact and that are so looked up to and that can move
do some positive things.
Right. They can really move the needle in the community. Right. And just be an example. And this is the disgusting stuff that you do. It's really discouraging and disheartening. But like you said, I'm glad we took Stout, right? Like, yeah. Not that the most important thing is the Baltimore Ravens. Obviously, the most important thing is that, geez, a whiz, this guy or whoever it is, if they're proven guilty, that they're properly punished for these crimes because they're disgusting. But yeah, I mean, it's just crazy. But yeah, it looks like the Ravens made the right move again, and I'm not surprised. Yeah. Certainly, the Baltimore Ravens would never ever look over something like this, in my opinion. Certainly after. Not that they would have before, but, after the whole Ray Rice thing, whatever the Ravens hadn't learned beforehand, they certainly know now 2 times over. And so they were never going to get close to this guy. But, man, it's just terrible stuff.
Yeah. I guess I shouldn't. I hope that the headline isn't comes out to be not completely true.
Well, the article isn't better, Glenn. The article is no better. So gotcha. It's terrible.
So, yeah. Well, all right. Well, in different news, it's kind of hard to transition away.
All right, that was like a nerve laugh. I'm not laughing about that situation.
It's like, how do you segue out of that one? But we do have to talk about the upcoming preseason game. Yep. And who's going to be out there and who's not. And Jimbo, I want to read you the list of those not practicing now. And of course, that list isn't complete because there's guys that kind of go without saying that are on
Sure.
long-term injury issues. So, but I'll try and include you know what, DK, you're the man. As Jeff Zrebeck tweeted earlier, Dobbins isn't out there. Prochet, Tylan Wallace, Charlie Kohler, Ben Cleveland. We got Falele out, Stanley, Campbell, Travis Jones, Bowser, David Ajabo, Dalen Hayes, Armour Davis, and let's see. We got Marcus Peterson. Is that Desmond Williams? Is that who that is?
Pepe. That's Pepe. That's Pepe.
Oh, that's Pepe? Oh, Demarion. That's what it was. Okay. Because I know they had two Williams in the secondary, but I think the one's already been cut. Desmond, I believe his name was, if I'm remembering correctly. But yeah, so with all those guys out, I mean, you can see that's a pretty long list. And then he comes out and says, Jimbo, that not only will Lamar Jackson not be playing, but a lot of the key starters won't be in this game. So when you add all the starters to now this list, it's already pretty lengthy. I mean, there's going to have to be guys playing some serious snap counts in order to just finish this game. So who do you look at as an opportunity or as a man? This guy's really got to take advantage of these additional snaps if he's going to have a shot to make the team.
Yeah, I mean, he kind of disappeared in the last game, but Shamar Bridges needs to take advantage of this game. I think, at the very least to get onto the practice squad. I guess one that's kind of a wild card for me. Like, does DeMarcus need to show up and play in this game? You know what I mean? He's getting paid. He's getting guaranteed money. I don't know. I'd like to see him out there, but I don't know if he has anything to prove. But certainly Bridges,
Mekhi Polk.
And I tell you what, this might be Benjamin Victor's last real chance.
Yeah.
Certainly with the Ravens. I mean, he's been here for a while. What's this, the second year here now?
Third. Might be the third year.
It's been a while for sure. So from the wide receiver group, Polk, like you said, Bridges, and Victor, one of those guys have got to have a Michael Pierce type game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, where they just show out. Maybe Raleigh Webb. He's one of the other guys. He's the only one you didn't name that's kind of.
Yeah.
And he's made plays in both the preseason games, including a fantastic touchdown up the seam where he broke 2 tackles in doing so. So maybe he's a sneaky guy. Of course, Slade Bolden's still on the roster, but did have sports hernia surgery. So hope Slade Bolden, gets on the way back to recovery and can get back out there. But yeah, I agree. I think those guys got to have a big one. What about in that running back room? Mike Davis seems like the presumed starter.
Yeah.
While JK and Gus continue to work their way back. But do you think Justice Hill, Tyler Beatty, is any chance, does Nate McCrary have any chance of getting ahead of Hill or Beatty, or is it definitely going to be Davis, Hill, and Beatty to kind of be the depth chart early?
Yeah, it's so interesting to me because I feel like McCrary still had some nice runs in the last game. So it's hard to count him out, and I think he still has a fighting chance, but I do think you're right. I think it's Hill, Beatty, and it's Davis, Beatty, and Hill is the order. So it's going to be interesting. All right, let's see here. Knox game. I'm going to read the whole thing here before I react this time. Thanks for the content you put out for us. Now that I got your attention, Glenn, I wanted to let you know that I backed out of the haircut after the last guy said it didn't go well for him. So, James, you need to see the back of your head real quick. Love you guys.
Yeah. Oh, James has a much stronger hair game than your boy over here.
Well, I mean, really, like.
By the way, I am like 3 weeks overdue because I've been so busy.
You're just going to have to use your imagination, bro.
You don't want to do it, huh?
I mean, what do you want to see in the back of my head, dude?
He did it.
Like, what?
That's hilarious.
You know what I mean? Like, what's there to see, bro?
Knox, it's Glenn with 2 N's, man. It's 2 N's on that Glenn.
We appreciate the super chat. You can put Glenn with 1 N anytime.
Yeah, I guess you can.
$49.99, bro.
Yeah, that's true. Put whatever you want up there for $49.99. That's absolutely. But no, I mean, look, this haircut ain't for everyone. Okay. You got to be a real, man to pull off this bowl cut.
Oh, is that what
you know what I'm saying? You got to be Lloyd Christmas to pull off this bowl cut. All right. Marco G says, I'm still mad about the Jones injury. I know he needs snaps and he got them, but to keep him late in the fourth bothered me. Injuries in the regular season is different.
I'm with him.
I certainly agree. I think that with most rookies, the expectation is to play a good portion of the game, but I think he stood out enough to where he
Yeah.
certainly didn't look like a rookie in those first few quarters. So to see him playing at the 8.5-minute mark to go down, yeah, I would like to see him on the sideline holding his helmet for sure.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I was questioning why Likely was even in there, and then of course he went down and scored the touchdown. But I thought that after that he should have been like,
And that
why?
was in the first half.
Yeah, it's like, but at what do we learn that we don't already know at this point? So
Yeah.
I get these guys need reps though, right?
That's the tough part as a coach, because as a coach, don't you just want to see players play?
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, it's
especially young guys.
for sure. See what you got,
But
and
is there anybody in this game that you go that kind of have that effect where you're going, man, I want to see him, but I don't want to see too much of him?
yeah, I'll tell you one
'Cause
guy I don't want to see is JK. Obviously, there's no way we'll see him, but like I never want JK playing in a preseason game 3 ever again for the rest of his career.
what about Tyler Linderbaum?
Ooh, right, because he's recovered from the injury. Have we heard any news on whether or not he will, yes or no, he'll be playing?
Haven't heard. So
Ooh,
that
that's a
to me
good
is a
one.
big one, because I think they'd ideally like to get him at least a series or two, but do they think he needs more? And then how much more? And then the worry, because you just saw Travis Jones go down in the fourth.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah, I
a
think
tough.
you're right. I think you give him a run or two in the first half. Give him a few series, let him get a run in. But you need to got not that some guys are, we're talking about these guys like they're commodities, and I don't mean to come off that way either. But like what happens in the second half of these games is you get the guys that are playing like no bar, balls to the wall, for lack of a better term, right? Like life on the line because they're playing for everything,
Mhm.
right? And so I feel like sometimes you get some of those injuries when a guy's going 1,000% and the guy next to him is truly probably going 70, right?
Hmm.
Because his roster spot is locked up. Like
Yeah.
we need to avoid that.
Mhm.
When they
Mhm.
put their threes out there, put our threes out there. Like I don't need to see our ones. You know what I mean?
Well, we
So
certainly won't see that, but the twos, yeah.
you understand what I'm saying, though? Like
Yeah, certainly. Now,
that
what if when Makari goes out? I mean, when Linderbaum, like with Linderbaum in there, I'm assuming we're going to see Juwan James start at left tackle. But do you
Sure.
think they go after Linderbaum out? Do you think they go McCary, or do they put McCary at left tackle to give him a little run and bring in Cologne at center?
Yeah, you bring Cologne in right at center. Yeah.
Yeah,
And I don't even know if you put McCary left tackle. Shoot, put Tyree Phillips out there.
yeah. Just who cares?
No, I mean, not that. I mean, you got to put someone out there, right? And I think McCary is more valuable than
He is, but also McCary hasn't played a ton of left tackle this
he
week
don't
or
need it.
this.
He's just a dog.
He's just a
He don't
dog.
need it.
All right, fair enough.
I don't know. I
Okay.
mean, you want McCary out there? You want
No,
the
the
guy
only
that's
reason
paid
is
out there?
like what happens if Juwan James gets hurt on the third play of the week 1 game, and now McCary's out there and he's had very little prep time at left tackle because he's been at center.
It's worked out before. I don't know.
Just put him out there. He'll fucking bulldog his way to a somehow 1-on-1 victory with a
His
pass rusher.
spirit animal is a friggin' bulldog, though,
It
right?
is. It
Like
is,
the
man.
little tiny. Can I tell you a quick story about bulldogs?
Sure.
All right, really quick. You guys will like this one. I think you've seen pictures of my dog Coda. He's a German Shepherd mix. He's a big dog. And we went to the dog beach. They were having a Facebook group of all bulldog owners was there, and it is pitiful to watch bulldogs eat because they have to like mush the food in their mouth until it's soft enough to swallow because they're underbite. It's not
Mhm.
like a real animal. I mean, it's if anyone has a bulldog, it's quite embarrassing. Like I would be embarrassed if my dog ate that way, right? My dog eats like a savage,
Yeah.
which is the way I want him to eating. I want him eating. He's part wild animal. So
Mhm.
anyway, point is the people are handing out cake, this dog cake to there's probably 30 bulldogs there, right?
Mhm.
And Coda is walking around and stealing the cake out of the people's hands because they're breaking it out of they're breaking it in pieces and giving it to the dog. And Coda's just, give me that. Give me that. They gave him the whole cake. They just gave up. And I couldn't control him. I'm like, forget
That's
it.
why he was heavy set back in the day,
Oh,
wasn't it?
dude, 103 pounds. Dude, he's down to 86 pounds.
There you go.
He just took the whole cake and that was it. And then he laid down. That was it. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, I like cake.
But McCary is certainly a bulldog.
All right, well, let's get into the defense. We talked a lot of offense. There's a couple guys on defense I want to get your take on. First and foremost, I got to start with your guy. This guy has been getting so much love over the first couple weeks of preseason, and he seems to be storming his way up the depth charts of many Ravens fans. Josh Ross has been he's just been a diamond in the rough. He's just been one of those classic undrafted rookies that the Ravens always seem to find What do you think he needs to have another game similarly to what he's had in the first two, where he has a 90 plus PFF grade and he's just playing like if he has a game like that, does he make the team? Is there any avenue for him to make the team, or is there just no way? There's just a numbers game. He can't do it.
Oh man, this is a great question. I think he has to solidify himself in this game. Right? Like,
Okay.
I don't know if he needs to absolutely flash, but he needs to show that he belongs.
Mm-hmm.
And continue to be in the right spots at the right time and show consistency is what I want to see from him. But dude, I think he makes his roster.
Yeah, I agree. I like him, man. I mean, why not? I mean, who's in front of him that's really impressive?
Right. That's knocking your socks off.
Oh, by the way, shout out to James Wiley, one of our
You
newest patrons.
and Aiden.
Yes, and Aiden, who also was a joiner, who newly joined. There we go. James, as far as the stuff on Patreon, you should notice an article DK just put up, I believe a day or two ago. But yeah, there's going to be a renewed focus on that Patreon. We have a strategy meeting coming up just to figure out exactly how we're gonna benefit those.
Yeah,
numbers.
so expect additional interaction directly through the app, James, if that's what you're using, or through the portal if you're using the website. And then you'll be able to you'll get messages from us, and then you can message us back to help kind of shape the content and some other things depending on which Patreon you got. But yeah, man, we're excited about it. You have access to, like Glenn said,
so
articles.
I know with James's level of membership, he's going to have an opportunity to put out questions for upcoming guests. So certainly go on there because we got a pretty exciting guest that we're still trying to nail down a time with. But I think a lot of Ravens fans would be thrilled to hear that this guy's coming on our show. Certainly a fan favorite, a legend in the Ravens lore, no doubt about it. So James
will certainly be getting a raise if this interview comes to fruition. That is for sure.
Yeah, because DK was certainly spearheading this operation here. So be on the lookout for that, James. But appreciate your support. Appreciate it. So Don C is right. People hit that like button. Do us a favor. It helps a lot with the algorithms. Yes. But let's get back into defense. I do have a couple other guys I want to ask you about. Kyle Hamilton, of course, we just got done talking about the Chuck Clark situation. He's had some moments where he has looked like a rookie, but he's also had some moments where he's looked phenomenal. I believe he's had 55 pass coverage snaps in this preseason. He's given up 0 receptions as the primary defender. So he's had moments, but he's also had moments where he's kind of laid a tackler and kind of missed a guy in open field, and that kind of looked poor. What do you want to see out of Kyle, and how much do you think we'll see out of Kyle Hamilton in this final preseason game?
Yeah, man, I think this is a good question. I want to see a little more. I want to see him move faster. Like, wasn't it Wink that would always say, make a mistake moving 100 miles an hour or something to that effect?
Yep.
I want to see a little bit of that. The one thing that I've thought that's really interesting from Kyle's game is that, like you said, there's moments where he covers so much field so fast. He just eats it up, right? But there's other moments where you're like, man, he looks a little slow.
Unathletic on
time. And he's certainly an athlete. I mean, we know that. So I just want to see a little more, less thinking, more moving, get after it type, and I know he's still digesting the whole defense. He's new to the NFL. Like, he hasn't had a real off season because you go, right from the end of college to this. So there's all these things that are happening, but that's what I want to see. What about you?
Yeah, 100%. I want to see him just playing fast. Like you said, I don't want to see him out there doing too much thinking. So I agree with you. I think you hit it right on the head. Let your instincts carry you to the ball. But of course, the more he learns the playbook and becomes more comfortable, then all that stuff will kind of come along. So I think it's his normal progression. Michael Echeverrieta says, did you see AD going Myles Garrett on the Bengals? I did see the clip.
Holy crap. Can we talk about that for a sec?
Dude, absolutely. So they're in a joint practice, the Rams and Bengals.
That was insane.
Just for those who didn't see the video, right. If you go on Twitter, they had a joint practice between the Bengals and the Rams, and I don't know what happened, but things got crazy. And I also was Aaron Donald swinging a helmet at anyone's head in the pile.
Helmets.
Yeah, and then he ends up on his backside. He's
double fisting helmets, bro.
Dude, it was crazy. I mean, to the point where you certainly, if this was in a game, it would be like people be
So
clutching
is
their
he suspended?
pearls. That's the question I have because he's dual swing. I mean, he's dual wielding
That's
helmets.
right.
Uh, it's certainly, I don't know. It's suspendable, but I just wonder because it was supposed to be behind closed doors and not released on video, if that matters. Because certainly Myles Garrett doing it in front of millions of fans watching on TV is different than Donald doing it in an enclosed. But he's still putting guys in real danger, dual wielding
And
helmets.
didn't I'm trying to remember, didn't Garrett do it to a guy that didn't have a helmet on? Right? He was
Yes, he
helmetless,
smacked Mason.
and it was
Yeah.
a direct hit to the cranium. Like, my
Oh
son
yeah.
still has a soft spot. Like,
Oh, it'd be
dude,
bad news.
oh my gosh, dude.
And
Oh,
I
that
think
was
he hit him with like the face mask part, if I remember
no,
right. Like,
he right with the crown.
is that what it was? Okay.
Popped him right with the crown, dude.
Ugh.
Remember the his whole hair like did one of these, you know what I mean? Like,
The hair shook.
oh man, that was just brutal. So I don't know, man. It's a hard one. Like you said, I don't know what the precedence is here for this, and I don't know what the rules are and things. But something was said to Aaron Donald. Something
Done,
Why
said,
would you?
maybe.
I don't understand this. Why is it a good idea to put two teams that just played each other in the Super Bowl together for 3 days to practice or whatever, 2-3 days?
Yeah, that
Dumb
was an
idea.
interesting choice of teams to link up. I mean, look, it's two talented rosters, so you could look at it that way. That
Sure.
but yeah, I'm with you. I mean, these two just had. There's probably some bad blood still stewing from
Yeah.
the last time they met, and yeah, let's pick a different team next time to practice with. Well, I'd be interested to know who kind of opened that conversation. Was it McVay or
I'm
was
sure
it?
it's right. Yeah, it's got to be between coaches though. But yeah, who was the initiator?
Yeah,
I
probably
don't think it
McVay.
was McVay.
No, you think it was Zach Taylor?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, interesting choice. But yeah, let's kind of monitor this. It'd be crazy to hear like Aaron Donald suspended for like the first 4 games because of this. It'd be
I know.
wild.
Or yeah, imagine 6, 8. Man, we're going to get more.
Could be. Could absolutely. Now, back to the Ravens. I do have one final position group I really want to get your take on. The outside linebacker spot with Dalen Hayes not practicing
Yep.
recently, with Tyus Bowser still out, Vince Beagle's still out. Who I don't think they want Odafe Owe getting a ton of snaps. I think
He's
that's
going to
kind of
have to,
fair.
right?
My
Means and
goodness,
Moon.
imagine Odafe getting hurt in the third quarter of your last preseason game.
Oh, right. I mean, he's going to
Backlash.
get some, is what I'm saying. But I think it's going to be Means, Moon. Who else can they put out there? Or Mean, not even Means. I'm using it anyway. Mean and
No, you're
Moon.
right. Means.
Oh, is it
It's an
Means?
S.
Okay.
Yeah. That's like there's not a lot. If you look at the depth chart, I don't know who else they're going to put out there. It's going to be Moon. It's going to be Means. Odafe, does Justin Houston get any run? I don't see the value in that.
Yeah. No, he will play 0.
So it's like, is Moon and so Moon and Means are going to play every.
Hey, Malik
snap?
Harrison, here's your shot, bro.
I guess so. I mean, it's so thin there. I just don't know who's going to be out there.
Yeah. I just don't want to see any injuries in this game. Any stupid injuries. I swear, if John Harbaugh puts a starter out there that gets hurt, I will storm the castle. One man in the orange Honda Element.
One man.
Up to the castle. I will drive right in, ram right through the gate, the safety gates, right up with the air horn. I'll just be rude and a jerk. I'll find John's
they'd be
car,
like, really?
it, I'll whip cream it, applesauce it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, put some bologna, slap some bologna on that thing.
Yeah, man.
You know?
Like, just no injuries. I swear to you, I will crawl in the TV.
Just
in it, and I'll come right through the down through the I'm gonna be at the stadium. What am I talking about?
Oh, dude.
I will jump over the safety thing.
That's right.
Out of the bleachers.
Give somebody the shake.
Dude, you think anybody that's not a player is catching me? I feel pretty good in that scenario, all right?
For sure.
Dude. Jesus.
Yeah, but you better hope you don't find a pissed off player like we've seen in the past where they're just mad and they see a fan and they
imagine Odafe Owe just giving it to me.
Jeez, dude, it could be bad out there. So yeah, be careful. But yeah, I'm with you, man.
I won't do that for anyone that's taking it seriously. Ravens staff that watches this This is not. I'm joking. Okay.
You think they're gonna put out an APB? You think they're gonna have like every security guard's
I'll
gonna have a
walk up
picture
and
of
scan
you?
my
They're
ticket. It's like,
is that him? They're like looking at. They're like, is this him?
look what
Is this
Steve
him?
said. The next week will be a one-man show.
I'll be like, guys,
Jimbo didn't make it.
You remember what Jimmy said? I'm sure if you were watching the game, you saw it. He got absolutely ran by Michael Pierce, and he folded him in half.
Flattened. I think I could dodge Michael Pierce once.
If you can't dodge Michael Pierce, Jimbo, then I'm just going to say stop exercising.
I bet you the dude's quick in a box, though.
Well, I'm certainly not going to try and avoid him in a hallway, but in an open field, I think you got him. I think you got him. But yeah, anyway, I don't know how we got down here, but Marco G says Burrow lost his soul and Super Bowl to AD, then his appendix. Yeah, well, you know what? I don't get the appendix thing, man. Why is something in our body that is just waiting to sabotage us and murder us? I don't get it.
Well,
what's the purpose?
Sure, that's a good question. They also used to think that your thyroid served no purpose in the 50s when babies were born. They used to x-ray them to make them smaller. So it's just about learning what the purpose of these things are, not that they don't have a purpose.
I got to find out that purpose.
Imagine x-raying your baby.
That's crazy, dude.
Stupid.
By the way, you can live without a gallbladder too, by the way.
No, yeah, you can also live with what? With one kidney.
It's true. It's not a good idea to start taking them out for no reason.
Right. So just saying, there's people we've done and thought a lot of crazy things, but everything, for the most part has a purpose. It's in there for a reason if it's in there.
Okay. I'll take your word for it, but man, it's awfully interesting. It's just waiting to explode and just kill us if we don't get it repaired. All right. Is there anybody else on the defensive side? I'm trying to think of.
He's not going to play, right? He's still out.
It looks
see him out there.
So at corner, I mean, you bring up an interesting point. At corner, we're going to see a lot of Kevon Seymour, a lot of Daryl Worley, lots of Brandon Stevens, who I think could use the work. And we're going to probably have to see a pretty good amount of Kyle Fuller, despite the fact that he's a tenured veteran in this league, just from a numbers standpoint.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be, dude, should we live stream from the game for a little bit?
You want to?
Dude, just hop on StreamYard.
I mean, I won't be at the game, so.
That's what I'm saying. So you'll be, and I'll just, we can chat.
The only problem would be, it's going to be hard to hear you, Jimbo, and not hear everyone.
I could have a headphone in.
Yeah, and it's that good. It's only going to pick you up and
only me, dude.
70,000 people around you. Okay.
Only me.
All right. Sure. Well, unless that's going to be in your mouth, I don't know how that's going to work. There you go. Like Steven says, live stream when you're on the field, dude.
I'm dodging.
I'm like, he's doing it. He's doing it, guys.
And I'm just counting bodies. 1, 2.
Yeah. Watch this one. He's got no chance. Good.
Yeah.
Snatching.
Here comes the old Jimbo 1, 2.
That would be the greatest episode. Jimbo, we would shatter records with views, bro. You got to take one for the squad, dude. 410 family, bro.
I don't want to spend the night in prison. No, thank you.
It's only a night. It's one night, dude. At least, you don't have to hear a baby crying for one night.
Oh, I'd rather hear a baby crying.
Then you might have a grown person crying in jail.
Glenn's got the telecast call?
Yeah, I'll be like, and there he goes. He crosses the 30, and he's into the 25. He dodges another tackler down to the 10. I could do it, dude.
And he is smashed, completely decapitated.
He's depleted at the 5-yard line. That was one hell of a run. I could bring on my old-fashioned announcer's voice, dude. I could do at least 30 minutes of that. I got you. And then you just disappear into the crowd. You jump back over. We'll pull you back. Have Harry there. I'll pull you back up. He disappears into the crowd. And dude,
the faculty, no chance.
No chance.
Yeah, no chance. I will dip.
Yeah, there's absolutely zero chance.
What's some ridiculous athletic 18-year-old just
boom. Really? You had to be here today?
Yeah.
He's like, I've been on the track team for 3 years. I'm all state. Dang, dude, he caught him.
I don't know where this whole conversation went.
Yeah, we went down the rails here.
But this is, I think, the end of the show where we fall completely off the rails. But we had a blast tonight. Number one thing, Glenn, no injuries. Don't play any starters, period, except I would like to see Tyler Linderbaum.
Yeah, a little bit of Tyler. Let's see some Tyler. Yeah, but other than that, let's save it for the regular season and let whatever happens happen. But Jimbo will be at the game. So we're gonna try and obviously set something up. But if not, I'll at least be here post game if Jimmy can't make it.
Oh, dude, I'm gonna be in the car.
Okay. All right, cool. So we'll be here with you post game. I know we were a little late getting out last game's post game. Things just didn't work out, but this time we'll be live as soon as the game is over. So come on back with us so we can break down all that we saw and hopefully celebrate the extending of that preseason win streak to I think 23 or 24 at that point. Yeah, whatever it is. It's whatever it is. I hope it extends. But that's it for us tonight. James, appreciate again. Thanks for the support.
Go check out the Patreon with our Patreon account. It's a ton of fun, and I think the revamping of it is really going to get people a lot of excited. So go check it out.
Absolutely. Shout out to Prince Quan. Oh yeah, we got something for you after this one. We're gonna let see it's starting to sneak out. You know what I'm saying? Don C, I appreciate you. Marco G says I'm better than Greg Olson. I'll take it.
Oh,
dude, he couldn't handle my old timey football call, dude. There's no way he could touch that. Living legend, appreciate you coming out. Let's see who's in here. Tanja Bowman, always out here. Appreciate you coming out again. Who else we got? We got is it Orion? Orion. Probably messing that. Troublesome 93. Absolutely. RIP Sack Daddy. No doubt about that. Cool Boy Click. Appreciate you coming out. Jay Money. Everyone who watched silently, appreciate your continued support. And we'll be back soon. Dude, I did that one